Components of aggregate expenditure. Aggregate expenditure is the total spending in an economy, and it can be calculated by the following formula: Y equals C plus I plus G plus NX. So what do each of those letters stand for? Y stands for aggregate expenditure, C stands for consumption, I stands for investment, G stands for government spending, and NX stands for net exports. Each of these four components can all affect aggregate expenditure when they change. There are four factors that affect consumption: current income, wealth, expected future income, and interest rates. Let's dive more into current income and wealth. Current income does not mean that a household is spending their whole income. Instead, it means that households spend a portion of their disposable income. There is a way to calculate this, and it's called marginal propensity to consume, otherwise known as MPC. MPC is typically denoted by a decimal number that tells you the percent of a household's disposable income they're spending. Typically, we see higher MPCs in lower income households than high income households because they have to spend a higher proportion of their earnings to live. Wealth is calculated by adding the value of savings and checking accounts to the value of stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, as well as adding the value of houses, and then subtracting any debts or loans that are owed. An increase to current income, wealth, and expected future income will result in an increase to consumption. An increase to interest rates will decrease consumption. For investment, it's important to note that investment does not mean savings accounts or retirement funds. Investment is firms borrowing money in order to invest in new productive capital, and there are three factors that affect this: expected profitability, interest rates, and business taxes. While an increase to expected profitability will also increase investment, an increase to interest rates and business taxes will decrease investment. There are two factors that affect government purchases: beliefs about what citizens need and stimulating or restraining the economy. How these factors affect government purchases are directly related to what actions are taken. For example, if a government believes that citizens need more, they will spend more, increasing government purchases. However, if a government believes that citizens need less, then they'll spend less, decreasing government purchases. Net exports can be calculated by subtracting any imports into the country but from any exports out of the country. There are five factors that affect net exports: domestic income, foreign income, exchange rates, taste for foreign goods, and trade policies. An increase to foreign income will increase net exports. However, an increase to domestic income, exchange rates, and taste for foreign goods will all decrease net exports. An increase to trade policies have no set effect on net exports, seeing as it depends on each policy whether it will increase or decrease net exports. How does it affect aggregate expenditure? Well, looking at this chart, you'll see that generally, anytime one of the determinants affects one of the components, whether that be an increase or decrease, that matches the effect on aggregate expenditure. However, there's one determinant that has opposite effects: domestic income. Domestic income increases consumption and decreases net exports. However, it will generally increase aggregate expenditure.